The Rock is given these hands, and he's like, you need to grill these fingerprints off. The police show...
And The Rock cooks some good finger food.
Mm-hmm.
You literally just see like some master chef fucking like barbecue scene.
He's grill master there. He's grill master daddy. Like,
it's like,
damn, those hands look hella good though.
Toasty.
Perfect crispiness to them.
Like golden caramel
perfect medium rare.
Lightly breaded, 11 herbs and spices.
So, like that barbecue, like that smell would like reek the neighborhood.
Hello and welcome to episode 14 of the No Thumbs Up podcast, where down is up and thumbs are down. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Pain and Gain from the year 2013, a film about taking SARMs. But first, let me introduce some beautiful people. First, we have demoralized Dayne, jaded Josh, nearsighted Noah. Is that true? Are you nearsighted?
Yeah, I'm nearsighted, yeah.
Oh, okay. Mommy Milkers Marcel, and as always, Spaghetti Joe. My name is Joel, and I'll be your plotsman for today, so please sit down, get comfortable, and hit that father freaking like button, or you won't be invited to family supper at the Wahlbergs. If you like what we're doing here...
Wahlbergs.
Or Wahlburgers, sorry. Well, I mean, Mark Wahlberg is in this. I just assumed...
Wahlbergs.
Yes, that's his family restaurant, Wahlberg.
I mean,
really?
I liked
Yeah,
it.
they have the restaurant.
Him and his brother, they're the owners or whatever.
And they have a TV show about it too, I guess.
And we're not sitting here like munching on one while we...
Yeah, honestly. We're all just like wearing uniforms. If you like what we're doing here, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button to get more podcasts just like this one, and hit the bell button so that you don't miss a damn episode. Actually, we're starting this at the beginning of the day, so if I ask you how you guys are doing, it's like, it's real. I don't know.
Started.
We don't...
About to get better or worse.
We don't care how Marcel is doing today, I guess.
Yeah.
I know I'm not gonna ask you guys how you're doing, so I'm gonna delete that out of our thing right now.
I don't care
I was gonna
what
say,
anybody
maybe
does.
we shouldn't say that it's like early morning, because I'm also drinking a beer and it's not even noon yet. I don't know.
Nah, it's fine. It's
That's okay.
it's Sunday.
It's the
Lord's
weekend.
Day.
It's Sunday. It is. Yeah. I had a long ass week. I deserve a little bit of me time.
So this was Noah's movie. It technically was his movie last week, but he's not locked out because there was this whole complicated thing with it.
Because of a technicality.
Because of a technicality.
We make up the rules. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
This is our show. We'll tell you what's going on.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he had no experience with this movie prior. And
I saw like an IGN clip of like just him like training the guy at the very beginning of the movie. That's just like all I knew, and like the intro of the movie. And I was like, oh, this seems cool.
Yeah. Did anyone else see this movie before?
Never.
No.
Nope.
I hadn't even seen any advertising for this movie.
me
I never
neither.
heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I came across it like way late. Like, it's from 2013, and I came across
Yeah.
it like this year, like last year. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, and like transitioning into the stuff about the movie, it's Michael Bay. So like,
Yeah, like
I
Michael
thought we
Bay would.
would have heard about it, but I
Makes a
don't know.
lot of sense after you watch it, though.
Yeah.
As soon as you see that at the end, it's like,
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. It's like the first thing that hits the screen, like as the credits come, is just like Michael Bay, and you're just like, oh, I get it now.
Makes
That's
sense.
why this movie reeks of sweaty ball sack and testosterone. I get it.
So, it was released April 2013, had a budget of $26 million and a box office of $86.2 million. So our cast in this movie, pretty simple for like the main characters. Mark Wahlberg.
I like
Talk
that
about
guy.
him like you know.
My homeboy.
Homeboy Marky Mark Wahlberg.
Dude, Daddy's home 1. Daddy's still at home 2. That's it.
Most iconic roles.
Yeah, he's from Ted. And he's in the newer Transformers. Dwayne Rock Johnson. You just wrote he's the fucking Rock. Yeah, does like 100 movies
You
a
might
year.
know him from like what is it?
The
The Mummy
People's
Returns.
Elbow.
He plays the Scorpion
Pick
King.
a movie off your shelf, he's in it.
Yellow.
Like Anthony Mackie from Avengers 8 Mile and that episode of Black Mirror.
Oh,
Nice.
Which one?
Yeah, which one?
I feel like
The Street
Fuck,
Fighter.
I forget what it's called. Yeah, it's like the Street Fighter.
Oh,
one where he's
okay, that's what I thought.
Okay.
fucking
Yeah.
his friend.
They don't usually have
Oh.
black main characters
yeah,
in Black
yeah,
Mirror.
that's the one.
So that one, yeah.
That's why I didn't remember what it's about because I blocked it out.
Okay, I didn't do a drawing of the poster this week. I've never even seen the poster, but oh boy, Sammy. Maybe I should let Addie back in.
Yeah, I want to see Sammy's tummy. Chunky girl, I guess.
This is our wheel this week. Pixels. Who's this Pixels? Pixels is Joseph's movie. I just looked at the wheel and I was like, damn, I don't remember who's this anyway. The Ballad of
Sam Cam.
Buster Scruggs Josh.
My movie. It's about the songs
The
of
ballad.
Buster Scruggs.
Change the word ballad around.
That's about it. It's a cowboy movie.
It's
cool.
really
Funny.
good. It's really good.
Okay. I didn't say anything about Pixels, but movie with Adam Sandler about.
It's Joseph's movie, but Joel, you tell us about.
Well, I was just gonna try and go back and be quick.
I think, yeah.
Don't
need to go that far into it.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, you know.
Jack and Jill. That's Dayne's movie.
You know it.
They go up a hill. You know.
Oh, man.
To fetch a pail of water.
Oh.
A Fistful of Dollars. That's Noah's.
Yeah, it's got a. I think it's like Clint Eastwood's first movie. Is all I read really quick.
Okay.
It's the.
It might not
it's
be,
the
it might
first
be, I
part
don't
in
know.
the trilogy. It's the first part in the trilogy, like the
Okay.
like the cowboy trilogy, like the good, the bad, and the ugly.
So this is the good.
The yeehaw.
I'll slowly try to work the trilogy in over time.
Color Out of Space. That is. Marcel.
It's about some colors that come from space, and Nick Cage is in it, and he goes all like
He goes.
wild.
He goes like 11.
Yeah, like
Nick
but like
Cage.
it's that perfect balance of like crazy Nick Cage, but like
But the
dad
thing
Nick
is-
Cage.
No, but the thing is, it's in that movie. You get like one Nick Cage, and then he goes
It's
to
perfect.
11. You get to see
It's so
spectrum.
good. It's so
It's
good.
the colors of Nick Cage.
Yeah, it should be called The Colors of Nick Cage, honestly.
Kingsman is my movie. So we'll be spinning this at the end of the episode to find out what we're watching the next week. So without any further ado, let's get into our plot of Pain and Gain. We
No
have
pain, no gain.
Marky Mark doing some sit-ups on the side of this building. And he's like,
Just
I'm hot.
beefing it.
Yeah. And these like cop cars and army cars start pulling up, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he starts running away. And
It's illegal to have a pump there. It's the law. They saw
Yeah.
him getting a pump, and they're like, "Fuck, get him, fight!"
massive.
He's too dangerous. He's too lethal.
Sir, this is the fashion police. Those pants are too tight on your buttocks.
It's like, do you guys remember? I mean, I hate to bring it up, but do you guys remember the Boner Police on YouTube?
Yeah.
The like half-hour like cop sketch about them. Anyone who gets a boner, they have to like kill. Yeah.
I remember kids in like
should
middle
go watch
school going
that.
around and just being like, "Haha, this kid has a boner" or something. when they just obviously didn't. It's like,
Jokes
that's
on
what I
them. I
thought.
always did.
Yeah, it's like when you sit down and like your pants
The
do that kind of
jeans.
folding thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's got a boner. It's like,
Genus.
bro,
It's like, have you never wore pants and sat down?
the best
Yeah.
genus.
That's the trick, boys. You
No
just
one
gotta
knows
always be
The
hard.
best genus.
Yeah.
Best
So-
genus kind of dripping dough.
He is.
Mark Wahlberg, apparently pretty good at just parkour. He's like running away from them, jumping off buildings and over car hoods and stuff.
Yeah, like,
It
I've never
goes-
seen him train for that. He just lifts weights, but he's just agile as shit.
Yeah. As he's running across the road, he gets hit by this car, and it goes slow-mo, and he says, what's his name? Daniel Lugo? I'm gonna bring up the IMDb right now just to have everybody's
Daniel Loogie.
He says, I'm Daniel Lugo, and I believe in fitness. The first time we watched this, like, at this part, because that was, like, the title sequence, it was, like, pain and gain, and then it goes in. I was just like, damn, that was underwhelming. And it seemed like that was kind of the consensus.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird intro. Not gonna lie. But makes sense in the end.
I kind of thought it fit the movie to be like 100%. I was like,
the second time I liked it, honestly.
Yeah, like it's like because I found like it kind of sets the tone for the movie. It's just like, yeah, it's gonna be some shit, but like don't take it too seriously.
I missed that this was a true story, and I didn't catch it until
that's
Rock
crazy.
was grilling hands out in the front yard.
Yeah.
It said, still a true story.
Still a true
I was
story.
like,
I was like,
Making
wait.
some finger foods.
Because that was the thing. I didn't know that going through the movie, and I was like, these are kind of unlikable characters, and I don't know how this movie could resolve with them still, like, not
That's
being in
crazy,
jail.
though. Like, that's...
Yeah, that's
Wow.
fucked up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyways, so Daniel works at a gym, and he's
Daniel.
been jacked ever since he was little. They showed just
Yeah,
shredded-
like, just got
Most
jeans, no
shredded
shirt, like...
yeah.
Who needs
kid's on the
creatine
juice,
with his
just
fucking
saying.
Fruit Loops? Like,
Somebody should look in like the facts. I wonder if that's like the picture of him actually as a kid.
Oh no. Oh, the CG on that was hard. I thought you guys picked up. Yeah.
Oh no, it just flashes on the screen. I didn't look. But
No one paused it to look at that kid and like at fucking
Well,
analyze his
That
muscles.
muscle
It's like,
definition seems a little
No, it's
off.
his face is just so off and just like soft looking. Like, you know, on Snapchat
Yeah.
when you scroll
Yeah.
by and you see like the child ripped at 6 and it's like that.
yeah.
That's what it just looks like.
So yeah, he's preaching about if you put the work in, you can get anything you want. And then we see we're
Then it
introduced
skips to like
to Adrian, and he's like trying to like lift weights, and they're just like, or no, they're measuring his like bicep, and they're just like, oh, I don't know, just keep working harder, man, like you're, because he's I don't know, not getting strong enough. And then we see that he's like juicing, he's just stabbing himself in the ass.
which I just love. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, if you just work
you
hard,
just
then he
know.
takes like the cheat, like the speedy way to
well,
get
it's so
there.
ironic for even like the rest of the movie too, right?
That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's so good.
It's like he thinks he's working hard for it, but like you're saying,
It's juicing.
shortcutting. And then he's like walking past all these like bigger people on the treadmill, and he's like, I hate fat people, it's unpatriotic.
like damn facts, bro.
And then he skip ahead, and he's spotting for this rich guy who we will come to know is
Whoa. I think it was right in there that we skip a very important part, which is my thumbs down moment. After showing Adrian juicing, and they show the 3 dudes on the podium, and he's at the top, and he's just much obviously less muscular than all these other dudes on the
In
podium.
every category. Yeah, he's just
you just
lesser.
see this normal looking dude and these bodybuilders, but he won the competition.
it's like, to be fair, both Mark Wahlberg and him like are pretty like strong, like more Mark Wahlberg, I would say. But like they're still just dwarfed by everyone else in this movie.
Well, and then there's
including The Rock.
who's just like behemoth.
Hey guys.
So
Named The Rock.
call me the Rock, 'cause I'm about to rock your fucking world.
That's like well, later on, like not to jump ahead too much, but when he's just like patting The Rock on the shoulder at the bar, and he's just like, you could be huge if you drink like titty milk. He's like, I'm gonna be like, I'm big already, but I'm gonna be swole. I'm gonna have to walk like sideways through doors.
yeah.
Mommy milk.
The dream, honestly.
So
Man, I feel like if you got punched in the face by the Rock, you just fucking die.
yeah, so back to he's spotting for this rich guy, and the rich guy's like, yeah, I got a boat, and I dream while I'm on it, like I'm like the DEA or I'm the drug smuggler or something, and he's just bragging about his house and all the stuff he owns, and he keeps talking about this sandwich place he owns, and he's like, you know what? Out of everything I've done, I'm just most proud of those sandwiches. And then he starts talking about, oh, maybe you should eat a salad. And he's like, you know who invented salad? Poor people.
Poor people.
So he's just like, man, this dude's a dick.
But like, see, I love it because like he didn't like a lot of the stuff, like a lot of his money, he actually like came to America as like an immigrant and like worked really hard. So it's just really funny to like see, because like he got to that point like from like building out of nothing. So for him, it's like he's just like, yeah, like I'm allowed to brag about this stuff, but that's because like I worked for it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of like even more ironic, I guess, like even from like what they said in the beginning, because like Mark Wahlberg's just like hearing all this and he's like, you don't deserve that. You didn't do shit because you're bragging about it. Yeah. I deserve that.
Yeah. He's like, you're a dick. Well, I mean, he is a dick.
He is a dick. Like he is a dick.
They make a point of him being a dick that nobody even reported him missing.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, there's a quick scene of like him getting like struck out, or him striking out, like trying to hit on this client. And
I don't like it when they say no. It hurts. It really fucking hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has a little fucking baby tantrum.
Yeah, like, literally, it's like.
Well, he plays it off.
Sucks.
He's literally just like training a woman. So like as a woman going to the gym, like apparently I'm not a woman going to the gym, so like I'm kind of talking off base here. But from what I've heard, like there's a reason like private women gym exists, because like they don't want to get hit on when they go to work out. So they're not only going to the gym to like have a trainer just be like, oh, like by the way, we should slam like that. Yeah, that'd be fucking weird. And he's just like, they said no. Why would they say no? Look at me.
At least wait until like after like the training session is over, like after they're done being your client. Like
I can't say he didn't.
Nobody says no to me.
Nearly bring a gun to the gym the next day.
No one says no to Marky Mark.
Marky Mark gets what he wants. Marky Mark gets his mommy milker.
So
he's the milk for his HGH, bro.
Exactly.
There's kind of like a quicker told story of like Mark trying to Daniel. Sorry,
we can call
I'm probably
Mark.
just gonna call him.
I was gonna ask you to do that earlier because just like every time you say Daniel, I just keep mixing up.
Okay, it's gonna be Mark, the Rock, and Falcon. Okay.
All right, I'm okay with that.
So there's this kind of quick story told about how Mark is he goes to talk to his lawyer guy, who by the way has like just the biggest statue on his desk of like the whole top half of
it's also his boss. So, like he only becomes a notary like later, but it's like his boss at the gym. He's the one that like owns the gym. So it's kind of just explaining how he like got hired basically and how he has like a criminal record.
No, I thought Daniel owned the gym.
No. Daniel's like Daniel helped make it what it was.
Oh.
Yeah, like he started like giving ideas like the half price. It's kind of explaining how it became what it was, because like in the beginning, like it's like all the old people like in the gym, and he's like, I can turn this around. So then he's like, strippers get free membership, like, and then like after that,
which is when you're like, yeah, Michael Bay,
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But then he ends up like when he goes back, he's like sitting there talking about his criminal record, because the guy's like, is there any reason, like, you know, what's the catch? And he's like, yeah, I used to con old people and like steal all their money and shit. And then he went to court for it.
Yeah, but what I thought was funny in that trial when he pleads guilty, and then the guy's like, yeah, so you get this sentence. Or he's like, I find you guilty, and he's like, yeah, I pleaded guilty. That's what I said. Right,
but what about my second chance?
What about my second chance?
The little baby.
Honestly,
like
I said sorry.
I conned people, and like I definitely stole people's like fortunes and stuff. But like I've learned my lesson.
Yeah,
gotta be so harsh.
This is America, the land of the second.
Funny how he really just never learns.
Not my fault. They were stupid. Like,
he's we see Mark listening to Johnny Woo for the first time, and he's talking about living the dream. You want to be a doer.
Be a doer.
I just love everything that guy's in, honestly. Just fucking kills it.
Do be a doer, don't be a don'ter.
He says it feels good to be doing good. And then we see him helping Victor Kershaw out again, working out, and he's bragging more about his offshore money and basically just making
That's
Mark
all
feel
the
bad
monies.
for not having
did
a lot.
Did we miss the part where he says get the bitches on the boat? That's my favorite part.
I don't remember that.
I think
That
that's
your
what.
thumbs
Isn't
up,
that at the
Joe?
conference?
Yeah.
Is that at the conference?
Yeah,
when he
that's
goes
right
to,
at the
like-
end of the conference when he's talking.
Okay, we're
to
not
him.
there yet. That's in
Yeah,
a
we're not
bit
there
because
yet.
I have something
Oh.
to say about the conference too.
Oh, yeah.
I got a little bit of a
Never mind.
tangent to go on about that motherfucker.
Okay, yeah.
The whole conference was one scene, wasn't it? I thought so.
No, because
So-
there's like a commercial at first when he's on the boat with his bitches,
Yeah.
and then they like do shit. And then he goes to the conference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking pays
So-
to hear.
He goes and looks at the lawnmower first.
Guys, this is
Oh,
a
Oh,
lot.
yeah, just seriously.
I hated that scene.
I'm going to try and power through this.
Yeah, keep going.
He kind of starts like stalking this dude and just seeing like all the stuff he has, and he's like, this kid gets a new bike every summer.
Gang stalking him?
Yeah, he's gang stalking him. And basically, I mean, he's following him around in like the most obvious or like the most like recognizable car. I don't know what kind of car this is.
It's a Pontiac Fiero,
It looks fucking dope.
and it's
It
got the
is.
Scooby Doo seats.
Pussy ass Fiero.
The Scooby Doo seats.
Shit.
Him and Falcon, I actually wrote Falcon in my notes. Him and Falcon are talking about how they're tired of being where they are at the gym. They're like, look at us, come on! It's flexing in the mirror, and then they're at the Johnny Woo session, and yeah, this is where he says, don't be a don'ter, do be a doer. I had a wife, a perfect life. Thank God I left her. Now I have 7 honeys in a boat.
And they're all
I can
just
choose
sitting
between
there.
any one of them.
Yeah.
It's
They're all
like-
just like sitting there like, hello.
Yeah, we're
So,
horse.
like, I know you're supposed to hate this scene. Like, you're not supposed to like. You're supposed to think what he's talking about is stupid. But like, I used to go to conferences when I was in car sales, or like, like we get like people like that
Yeah.
would get paid thousands of dollars to come in
Just
and be
say
like,
bullshit.
you can do it. You can do it if you do it. If you do it good,
if
you
you
can
really
do
try.
it. And if you do it really good, you can maybe make some money doing it. So you do it good.
I
And
mean,
it's just like, all right, that's an hour and a half out of my life. I'm never getting back.
I think there's just a lot of people that try and make money off of get off your ass. And then they're just like, if you do something, then it's done. It's like, yeah, I guess.
No
That's how
shit.
things work.
Hey, if you got dishes to do and you wash the dishes, guess what? The dishes are done.
Do be a
Argue
doer.
that.
Oh shit.
Don't be a don'ter.
So, he calls out Mark and he's like, hey, what does he say? Like, pretty boy, Ken doll or something like that. He's like, are you a doer? He's like, I'm a doer? He's like, is that a question? I'm a doer. I'm a doer. And then everybody's like, oh, yeah, woo.
And then everyone stood up and clapped.
Yeah.
Basically, that's
It's
right
like-
to that scene.
If I
You
were
can do it. I can do it.
if I were there, I'd be like, that guy's a plant. Like,
Yeah.
for this
Yeah.
conference. It's like, this just massive dude is like, I'm a doer. Yeah. It's just like,
So no way he's real.
yeah. So wait, what is this part about a boat, Joe? At this part?
He goes to talk to Johnny Woo after because he's like, yeah, he really took a liking to me, and I think he really wants to make connections. And then he's just like, he doesn't obviously give a shit about him, and then he walks away. He's like, get the bitches on the boat, get the bitches on the boat. Like walking towards the exit, I guess. It's like, I don't know. I just laughed at that scene. It was good.
Few boats and hoes playing in the background.
Boats and hoes.
And me, my boats and hoes.
Up on. Oh yeah, so they're him and Mark and Falcon are up on the roof, and they're like eyeing up this woman. He's like, I'm gonna ask her out, and he's like, oh, she's out of your league, bro.
Just gives him a motivational speech.
Yeah, about just like, when's the last time you paid your rent on time? He's like, we ain't getting bitches. Like, we're massive.
Like he literally's like, I'm gonna go. I want to slam that chick. Guy's like, I don't know, man. She kind of really. He's like, yeah, well, you're a sack of shit. It wasn't amounted to anything. Don't you want more out of life?
Yeah, it's like,
just like
okay.
calm down, Mark.
That's some real don'ter talk over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the part where Adrian talks about, Falcon talks about like loving fat bitches? No, I think that was the part where he's in the hospital. Maybe I'm thinking of a different scene.
He's getting his pee shot.
Yeah, his pee shot. I'll wait for that.
So they need a third person, and this is when we meet The Rock. And it's funny, like Mark is asking him about like, they're like, so you used to be in jail, and but the whole time Falcon's just sitting there. He keeps asking him, he's like, how much protein you eat? It's like, and he's just like, what?
You eat your vegetables?
Yeah. He's just like, man, this dude's huge. I gotta get on whatever he's on. And then we get the backstory of The Rock, and we see him robbing this house on Christmas, and then somebody pulls a shotgun to his head.
Just like laughing, crying, like
addiction.
Yeah,
because like he's in his
too.
car. And that's because that's like the whole thing, right? That's the whole setup for like later, is because like that's why he went to jail in the first place, was because he had a coke addiction he couldn't pay for, so then he like started robbing houses.
Yeah. And then he he gets saved by Jesus, and he's like, so I need to save all of God's special creatures. And so he's in the yard, and there's this badass fight where there's all these people at like a bench lifting weights, and he's just like tossing the weights at people. Just
this is my
all
thumbs
these
up
kids
moment when he just like discus throws it at his like neck and just
I gotta save all creatures, kills 2 people in the yard.
Yeah.
I'm saving God's creatures.
Like his head's like smashed in. Like
people are just trying to stop him from killing people, and he just keeps going.
No, this is God's work.
He doesn't even need the weights. Like when he just like knocks the dude out, that dude's dead, or brain dead at least. Like he's a vegetable now.
Yeah, so then he says, he's like, I moved to Florida, and I moved in with this old guy, and a guy opens the door, and he's like, oh, hey, I like rap.
I see you're a black person.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yo, you listen to that Snoop Dogg? I'm down with it.
Ye dog.
You know,
Yo,
like, drop it like it's hot. Am I right?
Some people say I look like the
Feeling
baby.
gangster today. Feeling pretty fly with it, if you would.
Joel, I think you look like the baby.
Right now.
Yeah. He says Daniel's like a really positive influence on him, so he likes being around him.
Yeah.
He's like, they see him boxing, he's like, come on, let's go get a beer, and he's like, oh, I'm sober. He's like, it's just an expression, come on, let's go.
Yeah, I heard a cat.
Okay, give me 2 seconds.
And then whoa, titties.
Wait,
Titty
honestly.
milk.
Strippers and tits.
Here at No Thumbs Up, we love our titties.
And our kitties.
No titties without kitties.
He's
Except for
killing
Joel.
the cat. Joel, what are you
His
doing?
cat.
You're killing her. You're killing Lila.
No!
What do you need? What?
Oh no, Addie witnessed it.
What do you want?
Joel, you're gonna have to take him out too.
No witnesses.
I don't know.
Because he's gonna tell Alyssa, bro. You
Wait,
gotta
I'm
take him
technically a
out.
witness too. Can you take me out? Like, if you got the time.
We're all just gonna get whacked by Joel.
We're getting whacked by
Whacked or whacked
Joel.
off?
It's like
Can it-
an hour
can
later,
one be
Joel
before
still
the other?
doesn't come back, and then just in like Josh's background, he just emerges from the green screen.
He emerges from underneath Josh.
Floating head just
Joel just kind of like pops up, kills Josh, disappears underneath the table again, pops up under Joe, kills him, goes back underneath.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, you fucking should be.
So they go to this strip club. Titties everywhere.
Whoa, titties.
The Rock and the Falcon are sitting there. And he's like, yo, is that breast milk you're drinking? He's like, no, why would this be breast milk? He's like, because this is. And he's like,
Guy's got like a glass of, yo, you drinking titty milk? No, why would I? It's like I'm drinking titty milk, so I figured,
Titty milk get you big, bro.
Wait, you don't drink titty milk at the strip club, bro? You're doing it wrong.
doesn't he say he like adds something to it? Like,
Human
it's like
growth
his fucking,
hormone.
yeah.
Yeah.
growth
Yeah.
hormone.
HGH basically.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah, I
always
got a
got the
pregnant
anabolic
lady.
window
Get it
open,
off
bro.
of real
Yeah.
clean. You know, she's clean.
He's like, this is when he has that part where he's just like, yeah, like you're big, but you could be bigger. I'm huge, but I could be swole. And then Marky Mark comes up with one of the strippers, and she's like, oh, you guys are making a movie? She's like, oh yeah, she's Transylvanian, and
You
she's
guys
like,
are making a
Making the
movie.
movie.
Her
I love
voice-
to suck your dick.
But he's like, no, not a movie, a music video. And The Rock is saying, he's like, come on, tell her what the music video is about. And he's like, oh, it's about a girl, and she's treated very well. And then we go into her backstory, and she's like, I lost beauty pageant because the girls show her vagine to stupid judge. And she moves
La, la,
to...
la, la, la. You'll never get this. You'll never get this.
I moved to America, land of dreams. And she's like in the back of some dude's like
I saw
car.
Pretty Woman and Julia Roberts. She got big men just because she showed her vagina. I am prettier than Julia Roberts.
Then she meets Daniel, and he has a can-do spirit, and then it shows them fucking on the back of their
Can-doing it.
car.
He's just going
Okay.
and being a doer.
He's
then-
can doing it.
Right after he just like goes over, starts pissing. He's just piss drunk.
Whoever the wardrobe was for this movie, I applaud, because goddamn, some of the t-shirts they're wearing are just so fucking good. Just her t-shirt, and the one she's getting at the back of the car, just Senor Frog, just a bunch of frogs with the fucking Mexican hats or mariachi hats, whatever. And then just every
not
one
a
of the Rock's
mariachi.
t-shirts, just
Yeah.
something about Jesus. Makes me really happy.
Oh, yeah, isn't The Rock did we talk about The Rock living with like the priest yet? Like he's like vibing with
Yeah.
the priest. We did.
Oh, I didn't say he was a priest, but yeah.
Yeah, because he goes and like he doesn't really have a house after like prison, so he goes and lives with the priest.
And then
Oh, okay. That makes
gets
sense.
sexually assaulted.
Hey, we're not there
Yes.
yet.
Oh, okay.
Hey, spoiler,
So-
bitch.
Not
Uh,
that priest.
Another priest.
The other priest.
The other priest.
So they're convincing The Rock outside this movie theater, and well, it looks like, and I think it's a strip club actually. It has that
Yeah.
big thing. And
No, they went and saw a movie. They're all buddies, so they're like, "Hey, you got the new Star Wars came out. We should go check it out."
they are showing Adrian's backstory now, and he's like, I wasn't a criminal, but I was being convinced by Daniel. He's talking about how his dick stopped working after he's taken like all these steroids, and that he's like at the doctor, and this is where we see Rebel Wilson's character, and she's like hitting on him at the doctor, and she's like, oh, we deal with like a lot of like what does she say? It's like basically like, we can make your dick work, but she like it just seems like very like cheesy porn type of thing. Yeah, and she's like, oh yeah, we deal with like penis problems here a lot. And she's like, your girlfriend is lucky, and he's like, oh well, if I had one, but I don't. And he's like, oh, what did she say? I just got a flash of us on a water slide together. And then they're talking to like the doctor about his dick, and he's like, yeah, they used to call it Ernesto. And
Boy, are you a water park? Because you're making me wet.
and yeah, so yeah, that's the first time we see those two together. With the Rock helping him in the yard. Oh yeah.
The priest. Yeah.
He's helping the priest in the yard, and he's like, oh, I brought you some iced tea, and he's wearing nothing but overalls, and he's just like, drinking iced tea and just the
every
glistening
camera
sun.
angle they do is just like
Yeah,
this,
this is my thumbs.
but beating off of him just looking jacked.
Well, you don't like The Rock looking good?
Well, no, the priest comes up to him and he's like, "Oh, I love the way the sweat's glistening off your
You're
muscles."
so buff.
Like,
Yeah, I
And
hated
then the
that.
dude just
You're
like
so
fucking
buff.
uppercuts him
Yeah.
into like next year, eh? Like
Yeah.
I almost killed him. Yeah, it looked like it.
The way this part is cut is really good because it shows like Mark like pull up and he's in there and he's like already in the car with him and it just shows like your muscles are huge and then just whoosh and then him back in the car. I almost killed him. It's just like cut so nice. Then yeah, so he's pretty much going to like live with Mark now, I think.
Yeah.
And so they walk into like this gun shop and he's like, whoa, those things are for police only. And they're like, we're secret ops. And he's like, we're doing like security for Striper because he sees a sticker. And then they start bonding over this Christian band. And then Mark is just like, and they said Christian bands
Christian rock sucks.
suck. Well, who says that?
Who says that?
Fucking assholes,
Fucking
that's who.
And they just like awkwardly kind of just shake it off and just get back to what they're talking about.
I
But
like
I mean,
the.
like,
I can't remember what Falcon says, but he's standing there, and the dude comes up to him. He's like, "We need weapons to maim, incarcerate, and kill the fellow man," or something.
As
And
they
then-
like admit they're fucking security guards.
yeah, and he's just like,
oh yeah,
"Hit
and
me,
they just like,
hit me."
yeah, the guy's just like, we got a taser. You can try it on me if you want. Like it happens all the time.
I've done it
Like,
before. Come on.
Most committed salesman.
Yeah, this movie is just a sale for like the taser. It's just like shilling
Yeah, true.
the taser almost.
They do use it quite a bit.
Yeah. So they tase him, and they just walking out with a bunch of guns. They're in like the planning phase, and we see just like Marky Mark just with a way too complicated of a plan. He's talking. He's like, Navy SEALs can do this in 40 seconds. With our athletic superiority, we should be able to do it in like 20 flat. It's just like,
Which is bullshit because
Yeah.
like they're literally just juicers.
yeah.
That's it.
It's like you have no like stamina. Like, well, I'm sure they do, but still.
Navy SEAls aren't athletic at all.
well, they wouldn't be very
Yeah.
fast because it's not like they're really aerodynamic, especially
Yeah.
the Rock.
They're
I
just
don't think the
huge.
Rock could run like.
We need to start doing some calculations of how aerodynamic the Rock
Okay,
is.
first we need to figure out how fast the Rock can run.
How fast is oncoming headwinds.
Yeah.
Is it a clear day?
Well, I mean, The Rock did used to play football.
Yeah, but that was before he was The Rock.
Well, I mean, I
was
know
when he
a
was
lot
just
of
a
kids
wee
that
little
played
pebble.
football that still can't run very fucking fast.
Yeah, it's true.
Linemen aren't the most, speedy fellas, but they're, they're
Big.
they'll- yeah.
So yeah, the like Falcon saying is like, I knew he was making most of this up, but like, it just sounded so good. They're sneaking in the back of Kershaw's house, and
I fucking knew he was gonna do it.
Yeah.
what?
Joe.
Joe in the background.
Oh, and they're like all in camo, and they sneak up on his house, and they're like, he's having Shabbat. And they're all just in there like doing some like, I don't know, religious thing I don't know about. But they go and buy costumes. I don't know, it's some religious dinner. They go and buy costumes.
It's a Jewish
The
thing.
Jewish
Yeah.
thing.
And one of them gets like an alien like morph suit, and the other one gets like a ninja suit that doesn't fit. And
How come he gets to be the ninja?
Low key though, The Rock as a ninja looked fucking awesome. Like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
he looked like the star of his own movie. He's ready to kick some ass. Like,
yeah.
I can't wait to see the Tooth Fairy Part 2. Ninja Fairy.
I really
True.
want to see like like The Rock as like an old like ninja, you know, like just like an ancient warrior. I need that film.
Scorpion
Let's make it.
King. They like formulate this plan to like pull up to his BMW as he's getting into it and like
You
just
just like
steal him.
kidnap him in like daylight, like
Yeah,
literally.
In a parking lot.
Yeah.
And then they like he just kind of
And they're not looking very inconspicuous either. Like
No, he just kind of walks by them and they just miss him because they pull up to the wrong BMW. And
My thumbs up moment of the movie. Just the amount of dumbassery going on in the
That's
scene.
what makes me
Yeah.
feel like it's like a self-aware parody.
it is because
Yeah,
like
no,
well,
the-
it's a true
it's like
story.
this-
They're making fun
because
of the
it's so
story.
I know.
it's literally like
just-
the story's so
so
stupid
good.
that like it shouldn't have happened. And I think that's kind of the whole point of the movie. It's just like
Yeah.
everything that happens is like pure stupidity, but somehow it keeps like it works. Like it keeps end up working. Like, well, obviously until later, but like still, like they're just like so incompetent, but somehow they make it as far as they do by literally knowing nothing.
They're
Speaking
just
of
being doers.
of incompetence, Mark says he's like, I can deal with your impotence, but I can't deal with your
Deal with his
incompetence.
incompetence.
So that we see the Kershaw's being just like a dick to his workers at the sandwich shop, and he's like, what are you, like fucking disease? What is this, herpes? Like just got like acne.
Yeah.
And then there's like the one girl who's basically just calling fat, and he's just
Yeah.
like, can we get like a bit of meat into the sandwiches just for I forget what he says, just for I don't know,
I
something.
couldn't tell you.
It's because she's got like a bunch of like sauce and stuff on hers, and
Yeah.
Yeah, on her apron.
it's like, okay, pimple and blimpy.
He gets
Coming
out.
soon to Cartoon Network.
Pimple and blimpy.
That's actually pretty good. He comes out into the parking lot, and The Rock and all three of them have ninja costumes this time. And they just walk up to him, and he's like, "The fuck do you want?" He just tases him to the side of the fucking head, and he just
Like a swinging tase.
yeah, he just
Yeah, like he
spits
throws
out
a
his
right
dick.
hook, but with the taser, and just like
Yeah, like you don't need to tase someone in the fucking head. Like that's how you just give someone an aneurysm. Like
Yeah, unless
literally.
you kill the guy.
yeah.
That was a
Um,
pretty sick camera shot of the taser, though. That was like
True.
Michael Bay.
Yeah. They're like speaking in a Mexican accent to like try and hide their identities. And they're like, tell your wife to go back to Colombia with the kids, and they like are trying to get him to do stuff on the phone, and they tase him again, he passes out. They are on the phone with The Rock, and he's like, wait, I thought you said that this guy sold this kind of inventory or whatever. And he's like, yeah, so what? We're going to have this conversation right now. He's like, I'm looking at a lot of homo stuff right now.
he's just slapped in the ass, just like
Fucking like anus. I want to call it like the anus destroyer.
There
That thing was
was a
like the size
lot
of his
there.
the size of his bicep. It was terrifying.
whose like garage was that again? Like whose where? What was the place again that they were at? Like, it was like a friend's garage or something.
Wasn't it like his boss, like
yeah,
Mark's boss?
Oh,
something.
that makes
That's
a
what
lot
it
of
was.
sense.
Yeah,
That makes more sense now.
Going back to what Joe said, this just reminded me straight up of like Saints Row 3 running around with the dildo bat.
Oh, yeah.
Classic.
As they're like tying tape around Victor, we hear him like kind of inner monologuing. He's like, like I moved away from where's he from again? Colombia, to get away from all the kidnappings. And he's like, like basically we hear he's just got a hard background, and he's like, if they think they can break me, they don't know Victor Pepe Kershaw. And he reveals
Papa Pepe.
at one, like as he's sitting there getting interrogated, like Mark's just all up in his face saying this stuff, and he's like, you didn't go to college, and now you spent your whole life obsessing over biceps or like
Pectoral muscles.
yeah, pectoral muscles. And Mark just snaps and starts yelling at him. He's like, why the fuck did you say that? and he just like knocks
I can
him
smell
on the
your
ground.
stupid cologne.
Yeah, your stinky, shitty cologne. And which he did mention earlier.
Yeah. Also, low-key, I just want to mention, I love Mark Wahlberg's accent. Like that he's trying to pull throughout, like, the beginning of that, because it's, like, just a mix of, like, the Mexican Godfather, and I just think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes, take them back to Colombia.
Yeah.
Hey, Holmes, I got some papers for you to sign, man.
Yeah, so they're trying to get him to, like, sign over everything he has, and he's like, I don't just want everything you have, I want you not to have it. So we just see Mark just going mad at this point, and because he knows
Just
who they are,
beating
he's
the
like,
shit out of this
"Fuck
guy.
no."
Roid rage kicks in.
Like, it seemed like an easy thing, and now it's like, it just keeps getting harder. Where am I? He leaves the Rock there with them alone. He's like, what do I do? Like, or no, sorry, they get him to make a bunch of calls first. So telling like his wife that like he's leaving, and we're kind of gonna montage through this, so I'll just kind of get through it. But basically, they tell like all the people that work for him that like to leave his like house, and that he doesn't need a maid anymore, and like his family tells that he's like cheating and to go away, and then just trying to cut all his ties.
Which is such a fucked up scene, like just forcing him to say all that shit to everyone.
Yeah, and then he keeps trying to be like
Recording his like message at work, like his voicemail at work, and he's just like, "Yeah, sorry, I kicked him to the phone down. Big kidnapper, a bunch of juice heads." Deletes it. Like,
yeah, and then they have to do it again, which is pretty funny. Yeah, then they're leaving the Rock alone with him. He's like, what am I supposed to do? He's crying. He's like, don't worry, he'll stop. He's sitting there.
I feel like that's what my mom tells like her friends when they come over and like they just hear me in the basement. They're like, "Don't worry, he does that. It'll stop.
It'll stop eventually.
Eventually, it'll calm down."
You do mean to have your camera off right now, right?
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
outside of a smoke.
So Mark is going to keep up appearances at the gym. He needs.
What does he need?
Kershaw needs a. He's like, I need a drink. He's like, oh, I'm sober. We don't have any alcohol here. And he's like, oh, me too. And then they start bonding. And he's like, maybe the real reason I'm here is to get you through another day sober. So he's obviously trying to just, get
Out of there.
Yeah,
Like as much as the beginning, like I love the bonding. I think it's just the Rock's like innocence that makes that whole scene. But like, I first I was like, maybe they will like become friends, and then he starts pulling that. I'm like, nah, he's just trying to escape.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, do you believe in higher power stuff? And he's like, I live it. He's like, you think I could get a taco supreme? You must be.
Oh, they're
so
even
hungry.
better cold.
Yeah.
Just like obvious Taco Bell sponsor.
Yeah.
If you've ever
They're even better cold.
If you've ever eaten a cold Taco Bell taco, it is not a good time.
No.
Everything's soggy from the lettuce down, so it's basically like mush and like a little bit of soft crunch, but not even.
He says, you're so much nicer than the other guys. He's like, you just don't know him. He's like, the fact that you're defending them makes you nicer than they are. And then he just, a hard stop. He's like, you're a Jew, right? Yes, I am. Half Jew. He's like, I think I can help you. That would be great. How so? Rock stands up, puts his hand on his head. Do you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
Your one true savior. It's like he's gonna crush his fucking head if he says anything else.
Yeah, literally. Like, what are you gonna tell the Rock? No, if the Rock tells you to be Christian, you be Christian. Like,
Yeah.
Like, of all the fucking torture, and they're like beating him, tasing him, the scariest part would just be The Rock just placing his hand on your head.
Do you guys remember
No
like
wrong move.
in like Avatar: The Last Airbender, like the cartoon in the end when he like puts his hands on what's his face's head, then just like expels the evil or whatever. That's kind of what I was thinking. But looking back on it now, I'm just like, expelling the evil, converting to Christian from Judaism isn't a good.
Satan, leave this man's body.
So he's like, yes, I do. And he's like, oh, that felt great. And this is when we see, well, I mean, we saw it already, but The Rock has the one-way Jesus shirt with like the arrow. And he's like, oh, how did you do that? And he's like, I have a gift. And he's like, oh, you're so good. Just totally feeding his ego. They see him waking him up later, and he's just like pissed himself. They're just like torturing him to get him to sign all these documents. And we see The Rock, this title pops up on the screen at this point. It says The Weak Link. And
he is.
We see that he's taking extra shifts with Kershaw, and they're having other bonding moments and stuff. Mark's stripper GF is at his house hanging upside down in the closet with the goggles on, and she finds out what he's doing. He's like, no, I'm actually in the CIA. And she's just like, oh my god, that, like, she totally believes him off the start. And she like already starts trying to like go to kiss him, and he's like, no, I need to tell you everything. Starts like way overselling this story. And he's like, I seen shit that like nobody should see. I spent a week in a tree in frickin'
Hong Kong.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
And then
And then she's just like, he's like, I got you. Do you think you could be a secret agent?
And then immediate sexy time. And she's just like, do you ever have to work with a female spy, and then you'd be spanking her and do whatever it takes?
Like almost a Dexter's Laboratory accent.
And Diddy.
What it takes.
Diddy giving some spanking. Oh god, wait. Sister.
And
I saw Marcel realize.
Get out of my laboratory.
I didn't say shit. The Rock is reading to this guy, to Victor, and he like gets him, tries to run away, and he just clocks him out. He's like, why'd you make me do that,
runs
Victor?
One way, runs into the wall, turns around, runs the other way, and just gets decked. Like,
God has blessed me with many gifts, and one of them is knocking people the fuck out.
Fuck out. I love that line.
The stripper is like coming onto The Rock at the bar, and The Rock is just very confused by this whole conversation. He's like, she's like, we play together, work together, and he's like, oh, play together. And she like goes on about something else, and he's like, oh, I don't know about that, but playing sounds good. And she walks off with, this is the first time we see, I think his name is Frank Riga, and he owns like a sex hotline empire thing, so they call him the Porn King.
the PK.
We see them taking Victor's racing dog, and they're just like, wait, he sold you his dog? And he's just like, yep, carrying the dog out. And he gives
like, what kind of security is that? Like, they didn't check or anything. Like they just see some dude walking away with some other guy's dog. Like, hey, that's not your dog? Yeah, it is. Like, oh, all right. Have a good day, man.
I think
you want a hand bringing that dog into your car? Like,
is the dog's name Tasty Reuben?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Reuben.
He gives the dog to like the nurse girl at their house, or at her house, and he. Oh wait. Oh yeah. So Daniel's at like torturing the dude again. He's talking about how this guy never used to work this hard at the gym, but I break guys for a living. And then we see like him trying to go to the bank after they got all these things signed, and the dude's like, "Oh, these aren't notarized." And he's like, "Oh, well, he's overseas. It's okay. We don't need it." And he's like, "No,
yeah, we do.
we call that a problem around here." And he goes outside. He's smashing his thing. He's all pissed. And then he goes and approaches his like kind of boss guy from the gym, and he's like, "Yeah, I used to be a notary." And he's like, "Oh, like, could you just notarize these?" And he's like, "Yeah, you just gotta bring the guy in." He's like, "Oh, well, he can't be here." He's like, "Well, that's the only point of having a notary. Like, I can't do that. And he's like, well, can I just borrow your stamp? And he's like, no, I can't do that. He's like, the fuck are notaries? He's like, we're officers of the law.
We're members of the law.
And then he's like, oh, I think I found a sponsor.
I am the law.
He just says, I think I found a sponsor for your competition. And then he just takes a hard turn. He's like, yeah, fuck, I'll sign all your shit.
Yeah.
And then they get all his money. And now they're just like, hey, well, now we got to kill him. And so they're trying to convince The Rock to kill him. And if he doesn't, he's off the team. And they're like, the good
they gotta
Lord.
get him drunk. The Rock has to get him drunk. And he's like, no, he's sober. We can't do that.
He's like, the good Lord wants you to be rich. He's like, just make
You know that guy Jesus? He wants you to be rich. He wants you to have some money, you know? He cares about his children.
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, get him comfy, get him drunk. He's like, I can't do that. Pepe is sober. He's like, don't call him Pepe like you're in the fucking 6th grade together.
Peep is sober, all right?
And we see Kershaw, he's just like groveling at this point. He's like, come on, I just gotta escape, please. He's like, I know a guy can get you out of the country, but you have to show up pissed drunk when you get there.
We're going to get you on a plane.
And he just knows. He's like, I'm gonna fucking die. He's like, if I die when I get to heaven, I'm gonna tell Jesus what you did. He's like, you aren't gonna tell Jesus anything. Starts feeding him liquor.
It's like when you're like little brothers or some shit. It's like, I'm gonna tell mom on you. You're like, no, you're not.
Tell him shit.
You can't tell Jesus anything if you're going to hell.
So they're gonna kill him.
Which also, like, that's kind of like my thumbs up. Like, that whole scene when they're trying to kill him is just that's all my thumbs up moment.
Yeah.
Because, like, when
Just
we were
everything
watching it,
fucks up.
I just kept making jokes about it, and then they just kept happening. so yeah, that's definitely my thumbs up moment is when they try to kill him. Like,
Yeah, so they're gonna try and make it look like he crashed his car. They like have The Rock in there, and he has to like tuck and roll outside the other thing. And it hits this thing and gets all smashed. And they go and check on him, and they had his seatbelt on. The Falcon went and put his seatbelt on. And they're like, what's the law? You have to have your seatbelt on.
yeah, like,
And he's like, yeah, but he's like fucking loaded. Like, we made him drink all this stuff. Like, he's not gonna put his fucking seatbelt on. And so they're just gonna burn him.
oh, I got a big shot. Yeah, because like Marky Marcus, he's like, I bet you I can make him hit that bulldozer, and then like nails it. He's like, are you kidding me? I had a perfect shot. I think he was more mad that he like actually got it like spot on, and then they were just like, he's just like still made it.
Yeah, so then they light this. They put all the oil on, and they're just gonna light it up and explode it, and they do, and goes up in flames, and they're like walking away, and then you just see him like come stumbling out of the front of the car, and just like
Perfectly
oh
fine.
God. And then so they're in their thing by this point. They're like, we gotta hit him. Just run him over.
Yeah, they're like telling the Rocky, like, you gotta hit him with your car. So then they do, and then he's just still cold.
he like misses him, but like kind of knocks him
yeah.
over onto the ground, and they're just like, come on, roll over his head, nice and easy, and they make it really slow, go back, and you see it kind of crush over his face, and
That
He's
entire
like-
scene was just like a thumbs down, only for the reason that he just wouldn't die, and it was just frustrating.
But that's why it's my thumbs up, is because that man's invincible.
Honestly.
Cannot kill Victor Pepe Kershaw.
I like how afterwards too, The Rock and Marky Mark are just sitting there, and they're like, "Well, you just killed a man." And he's like, "No, we just killed a man. What's this we shit? You're the one driving."
No, it was you.
I just
It was
provided
you.
You
options.
should be proud of that, bro. It's a good thing.
and then he's like,
Did what needed to be
The
done.
Rock is just literally says, he's just like, why are you saying I did it?
He's just so sad.
And like before they kill him too, like right before, or well, when they go to roll back the car, you hear Mark, he's just like, come on, get it over with. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid, just do it. And he just sounds like such a like whiny bitch. He's just like, come on, kill him, jeez. It's just like,
Come on, he's not even dead yet. Like, you could do it.
he's like, he tells The Rock, he's like, yeah, you killed a man. Like, I just provided options. And then we see after they go away, like his head was kind of in like by a grater or like a garter thing, so it like didn't get squished, but he did get a lot of pressure on his head, I think. So he's still fucking alive. He's like,
didn't he like bite his tongue or something too, like real hard? So this.
Says, if you're gonna kill me, you better damn well do it. He goes to the hospital and he's like, let me explain to you about your face, and he just looks like shit. I
love that nurse. Just the best way. Like, how do I explain to you your face? Brings out reflecting.
You just tell the cops are like, that scene's really funny. Like that whole hospital scene.
He's like trying to explain his story, and they're just like, So you're from Colombia, huh? He's like,
just like these bodybuilders stole all my stuff and then got me drunk and drove my car into the thing and then tried to hit me, and they're just like, so you're Colombian, eh? You ever hear of this little thing called cocaine?
He's like, so what? This didn't happen in Colombia. It happened here. And they don't believe him. He's like, I just about bit my fucking tongue off. I don't care what you think. And then,
we don't like your attitude. I don't give a shit what you think about my attitude.
He's like, is this her first day? Is this your first day?
Is it bring your daughter to work day?
Yeah. And then the dude says like, so the evil ninja weightlifters did this. He's like, from what I hear, they sell quite a bit of drugs in Colombia. Is this a sex thing? The burned dildos. He's like, no one.
Very large burned dildos.
You've been gone for a month. No one reported you missing. Kershaw calls this Private Eye the first time we see him. This guy.
Yeah, he's like reading a yellow pages, and he just sees like Private Eye, so he calls him. He's like, hey, is this like Private Eye guy the first? And he's like, nah, this is Private Eye guy the third. He's like, shit, these are really old.
Yeah. This is Ed Dubois, played by Ed Harris, whom you might know from I don't know, some
movie, probably.
Yeah.
I thought it was Clint Eastwood at first when I like first saw him, and then I was like, wait, no, that's not fucking Clint Eastwood.
He was in Call of Duty Black Ops as Jason
fucking
Hudson.
skeleton-y.
His character is like he used to work for the cops, and then his dad had a detective agency. When he retired, he took over his dad's detective agency, and then his wife made him retire from that too, to just enjoy his old age. But then when he calls him, he's like, well, like he's trying to hear him out, but he's like, your story doesn't sound that believable. Like I have to entertain the fact that you might be lying, he says.
Yeah.
He's like, well, if he's like saying like, if I were you and like these people did try to kill me, they would probably want to finish me off. So you're in a pretty public place. You should probably get out of there. And at some point,
immediately they're coming in, like
perfect timing.
And there's like a thing at this point where like the dude who Kershaw is staying with just takes like a mad shit in like the thing beside him. He's like, he should be ejected from the building.
Yeah, the guy's just like over there like coughing or he's crying or something, or he's like wincing in pain.
Shut up, baby Louie.
Shut up.
So yeah, we see like they're all dressed up to go like kill him in the hospital. So they're finding him at the hospital, and they're like, yeah, we could have made a plan, but we're way better when we wing it. So I just want
kind of like us.
I just want to double check. I'm still recording. Okay, it's all good. So they found out while they're in there. He kind of gets stopped by this one guy. He's like, hey, why are you dressed like a surgeon in our hospital? He's like, well, I want to be prepared for anything. So you get that they're not even like dressed correctly in this hospital. They don't.
No, but they still get away with it.
Which is how unprepared they were, funnily enough.
Well,
But his cover that like covered him for it, he was prepared for. So
yeah.
I like the little slew of things.
No matter where they are, what they're doing, just no one vets their credentials. They're all like, this giant jacked-looking dude.
Yeah, it's just a Rock dressed up like a doctor. They're like, you a doctor? Yes. All right.
And he's talking about he's he's like, yeah, he's got this weird story about ninja bodybuilders. And he's like, ninja bodybuilders. Looks at the Rock just standing there, turns around the corner. And yeah, so they don't really need to do anything here because they find out that nobody believed them. And they're just like, hey, it's celebration time. And so Daniel Lugo tells them, oh, yeah, he tried to go to the cops. They didn't believe him. Montage time of them moving into his house, and Falcon gets his dick shots, and he's like, oh, that's what I'm talking about. And she's like, yeah, it's less than what I'm used to. It'll be fine. And we see them like fucking, she's just got like nunchucks for some reason.
Which she isn't really using. She's not like hitting him or herself. She's kind of just like
she's just showing off her skills.
Yeah.
Which, like, I'm not gonna lie, that'd be kind of cool. Like, you bring a chick home, and next thing you know, she's like, check this out. Like, she's on top of you, just starts doing some like
I'd be
shit.
scared she's about to knock me the fuck out and just like one shot me, just steal my
It's
shit.
like, oh,
man.
it's a movie and a show, you know.
One thing I did miss is that like because Mark starts not trusting the Rock, he like basically is just like, here, take my girlfriend. Which is what, well, I did mention they were meeting in the bar, but that was why.
Yeah, but she's like the honeypot. Because they even mention like they show like her name and then like honeypot underneath.
Yeah.
So like she's basically like Mark Wahlberg gave her to the Rock so that she could keep him like materialistic basically.
Yeah.
And then he starts doing the coke.
Yeah. And he's like, Jesus is Lord, but cocaine is king. We see Mark is just like dancing at his house and like doing push-ups and shit. The detective shows up at Kershaw's like place that he's staying, and it's just like a real shithole. He's like, nice place. And he's like, oh, I thought you didn't believe me. It's like, well, I didn't really. It's like, well, so what's the real reason you're here? Well, catching fish is fine, but catching bad guys is finer, he says. Moving the law, Daniel finally gets the lawnmower he's been talking about for a while. We see the guy who plays Arwen from Sweet Life on deck. And he's like, oh, what happened to the Kershaws? And he's like, you know what? Like, I forget what he says, where he says they went. But
he's like, dude cheated on his wife and moved to a different country. He got a hell of a deal on it, though.
And he's like, oh, yeah, he did talk about sex a lot. He's professional looking hoop you got there, and he's like, oh yeah, bring your kids around, and it shows him just like dunking on these kids. He's like, go home.
Bodies the kid.
It's like, go home, tell your mama. Slams this kid to the ground. Oh, what you doing on the ground? Oh, I heard. Oh yeah, that's. He's like, your cells remember
no pain,
that.
no gain.
He says your cells remember that. It's called pain and gain, brother. And then, like, at one of the kids, he's like, what are you looking at? I see your mom driving past over and over. I'll be your stepdad by the end of the week. He's just, like, taking these kids in to mentor them. He's like, the Rock and the girl are there. And he's like, see that girl? I just gave him that girl. I didn't even care.
You kids like that?
Yeah.
Which again really shows just Michael Bay, It's just like that woman there, object. Guess what? Didn't need it, gave it to the Rock. Merry Christmas. Like,
Merry Christmas, yeah.
Sorry,
True.
Happy Hanukkah. I don't know like what the religions are. No, it is Merry Christmas. He's Christian. Jesus was like a Christmas thing, right?
He says, tell your parents about the neighborhood watch, like when they're leaving. We see the detective like going around tracing clues. He's at like the bank. He's like, you didn't think that these big checks to them were a little bit odd? And he's like, well, he could be into sports or rap. He is black, And he's at like the sandwich shop, and he's like, nobody thought it was odd that he just like didn't come in. They're like, well,
we were just like, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
He called me fat.
Yeah. So we see them at the neighborhood watch, and he's.
They like pan up to that picture of Mark Wahlberg, and they're like, what about the new guy? She's like, he's awesome. He told me I'm a doer.
Yeah.
Not that really had any importance. I just thought it was a funny part.
Yeah. It's just funny how it's like, it's like, you've kind of seen people where they just like, they just get too obsessed with like a like speaker talk, and they're just like, you know, they're kind of just high on it. It's like that's where like Mark seems.
High on life.
So yeah, they're at the neighborhood watch meeting. He's speaking at it, and he's like, yeah, so that means we gotta like hand out these
like pamphlet things.
Yeah, pamphlets or something. And the Rock's just like, yep. He's like, yep. So get the pamphlets. He's like, yeah, huh? He's like, yep. They're behind the stage. Go get them. He's like, yeah, right. He goes back there, just starts like hitting a bump. He's like, oh yeah, that's the good shit. And comes back out, and they're like, okay, we're gonna hand out the pepper spray and tasers. And he's like, hey, we're gonna do some role play. Serena's gonna be the victim. Who wants to be the rapist? And everyone throws their hands up, and he's like, hey, if you touch her, I'll fuck you up. And he was like, hey, we're just doing a role play. And he's like, well, that's what I would do in this moment. I'd fuck this guy up.
And the guy just like turns away. He's like, oh, no, never mind.
Yeah. And then we see Arwen as they're leaving, and he's just like, I had to grab her ass. I'm the rapist. It's role play. Paul at the oh yeah.
Paul?
Who's
Paul? Paul.
At the hotel.
At the motel? Who's Paul?
What's to do with the motel?
I wrote Paul the hotel says you gotta pay 47,000 bill or they are
the Rock's at the hotel.
Yeah.
She comes in, she's like, hey, you gotta pay your $47,000.
I think she says his name is Paul. I don't know. Paul Fuentes says this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Paul?
Paul.
But the Rock, maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. The Rock's out of money. We see he says in his inner monologue, I was on the 20th floor, and I was either taking the short way down or I needed to climb higher. The detective we see confirms he's telling the truth, and he goes to see Kershaw. And he's like, you signed all these papers. It's completely legal, right? They got all their stuff. It's not legal, but, you know, they have all their stuff. He's like, you know, when a man is beaten, gagged, and blindfolded and hung like laundry for a month, he tends to sign just about anything. He's like, so what now? I go to work. And then we see he's at the gym, and he's being trained by Mark. And he's like, oh, how'd you choose this gym? A friend of mine recommended it. Victor Kershaw. And then he's kind of giving him a look. And he's like, oh, I can't get a hold of him. He's like, oh, he's probably on vacation. Yeah, I'm sure that's it. Then we see the wedding for Falcon. And Rebel
The
Wilson.
Rock's like robbing shit. Eh?
Yeah, this is the 2 planes of action or whatever.
Yeah.
The Rock is stealing money that is being brought from the bank to this vehicle. He's stealing the 2 bags, and he's running through. He ends up hiding in this salon, and he opens it up, and poof, all the green stuff splashes on him, like so that you can't steal the money. And yeah, at the same time, Rebel Wilson and Falcon are getting married, and Rebel Wilson's like, my dad used to hate black men. That's okay. He's dead now from racism. No, just kidding. It was a cement truck. And then so we see the Rock just grab one of the like hair dryers and beat these people over, and he's like running away, dives into the ocean, gets shot in the foot. And he's like, this was all just practice anyway. I had like another plan that was not quite as easy as robbing a bank. But as it turns out, robbing a bank isn't that easy. And yeah, it gets shot on the foot, and the toe comes off. He's like, motherfucker, under the water. He makes it into the wedding. He
picks up his toe.
Yeah. He's just like fucked up. Walks in, just sits down, and Mark's just like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Are you in trouble right now? And he just like shows him his toe. He's like, look, you can see the bone.
Put that the fuck away.
Yeah.
I know the first question everyone asks is just, why is your face green?
Yeah.
Why the hell you dress like a chicken?
He's like, this plan was just practice, but I had another plan. They're gonna get Frank, the phone sex douche from the club, it
What's he gonna do, Joel?
Frank the Tank.
Tell me.
he says,
I want to know.
Ow!
So yeah, he says like, we're gonna rob Frank Griga. You know why? Because we're doers. He's like, wow, I gave you a second chance, and you know what you did? You put it up your nose. And he's like, it's not about the coke. And it flashes to him just being like, smell his money. He's like, it's a little bit about the coke. And so he's like, this guy wants to do another job. And Falcon's like, oh, is that right? So it's like they both want to do it. And he's like, well, I just got married and I got an erectile dysfunction. I need to do this. He's getting his, pee-pee shots.
PP
Mark's,
shots ain't cheap, yo.
Wait.
Lawyer gets a call from Kershaw, and he's like, oh shit, I thought you left town. He's like, no, I never did leave town because I had no money because you fucking stole it. Now give me my fucking money. And then they both like hang up the phone. They're both just like slamming their phones down.
Lots of testosterone.
He just like runs out to go like punch Danny in the face, and Danny just catches him and just like puts him into like a hold in the pool. And
which is kind of my thumbs down moment, because he literally just chokes this man in like public at a fucking gym, and nobody acknowledges it.
well, he walks up and just tries to swing at him, doesn't he? Or something?
No, he's like in the pool.
Everyone's
he
kind of
comes up
looking
and
at him though.
Because Mark's already in the pool, and then he comes up and just starts bitching him out. So Mark just like grabs him, throws him in the pool, and just starts choking him.
Oh no, that's because the guy who approached him went to punch Mark in the face.
Yeah.
And then Mark grabbed him and pulled him in,
missed that.
and then that's why he's like, "You son of a bitch!" Like after that action sequence.
Yeah. He was asking him where he was when he was on the phone, and he wouldn't tell him. So he's like, "Oh, star 69 him." And he's like, "You won't be 69 this guy?" And he's like, "No, click star, click 669." And it calls back, and the dude just answered. He's like, "Oh, I'm at this or blah blah blah, this motel," and just hangs up. So they're like, "Okay, we know where he is." They go find him, but the place is empty, and this like short guy comes in. What's the PC term I'm looking for?
A small person. Oh.
Small person comes in, and he's just like, get him, lifts him up on the wall.
The Rock picks him up like he's picking up a child, just
and
like
he has him over his shoulder, and he's like, here's the deal, little fella, I'm gonna headbutt you and knock you out, okay? And
which again I feel like would have killed this guy.
Yeah, honestly,
like goes to headbutt him, just smushes him. Whoops.
The detective's telling the police, hey, you were wrong about Victor Kershaw, you should really look into this. And he's like, hey, come on, like,
hey,
they said his story's bullshit. And he's like, these people are gonna get hungry again, they're gonna need to do it. And so they're hiding at the detective's house now, Mark and Falcon, and the police are giving him a ride home, and they're just like, oh shit, what do we do? We gotta jump in the water. Oh yeah, Mr. Kershaw calls the detective's house, or no, the wife is just like, oh yeah, Mr. Kershaw called, I took a note, I said, fucking guys come to kill me, and where the fuck are you? Just kind of looks at him, she's like, ah, shit. And then we see them at the stadium, he's like, never call the bad guys. The detective...
Sorry to interrupt. The fucking wife during that too, she's just like so smiley and just like, fucking guys come to kill me, and where are you?
Oh, he says he's like, yeah, she's the best fucking thing to happen to me. So she's obviously put up with a bunch of this shit before, seeing as he was like a cop and then a detective.
Private eye,
yeah. And God, isn't his voice just honey to listen to? It's just soothing. Yeah. He takes the Kershaw home and to his house, and they're eating. He drops a bun on the ground. He's like trying to reach it, and he's like, no, I can get it myself. And she's like, every man needs to fight for his dignity. And he's like, I have a boat. And she's like, sure you do. Mark's saying, if you don't pay attention to detail, it'll hurt you. And he brings up the 3-finger plan that the dude keeps talking about. And he's like, well, we're just going to have to add another 4th finger. They're going to make a move on the porn king. So at this house, they're having this meeting and they're giving a presentation, and they're like, "Yeah, so see, AT&T has all these people, and see, we're gonna go after the Indians, not these ones, these ones." And he's like, "Those are Japanese people," and he's just like, "Them too." The next slide is like one of like, it's like Falcon's wife at the beach. He's just like, "Ah, come on." It's like, so very not professional. He calls over his wife when they're talking. He's like, "Come over, show him your tits."
Hey, baby, come here. I got some friends over. Come show them your tits.
I had him add an extra 500 cc's.
How rude of me. I didn't show you my wife's tits and you already been here 10 minutes. Honey.
She's the best phone sex worker in the biz. Give him a mo.
Come on. Be the Mona.
The Mona.
The Mona. Oh no.
So they're having like
Mona the
a
vampire.
little house party at Falcon's house, and he's the Mark and him go to talk in the other room, and they're having a party, and he says, "Oh, I'm touching her butt," which he says later. She's dancing up on the table, and the Rock's just kind of sitting there. We have the two planes of action.
This is how he sits.
Like, the camera keeps swirling around, and like as we keep coming back, it's like the Rock will be doing just like push-ups or something. The party keeps just changing, but we're just getting the point that they're distracted. In the other room, Mark is trying to get him to invest, and he's like, "Yeah, so that would be really good for whoever does invest." And he's like, "Whoa, like you're not gonna do this?" And he's like, "Well, I just like to talk to the board first." And he's like,
Listen, I like you, but I got to make sure I'm not just going to give you all my money, which is like a valid thing, right? Like these guys just showed up, like they're like, "Hey, you want to buy some shit?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'd be down, but I got to make sure it's legit." And he's like,
I mean, he says, he's like, "I don't think you're a hard worker. I'm not saying you're an idiot, but you guys are a bunch of fucking amateurs." And he just fucking hits
amateurs.
them. And they start getting in a tussle, and like we go back to the living room, come back, he just uppercuts the dude over the bench. He's like, "No one calls me a fucking amateur."
It's just like, great way to ruin this fucking investment that you're trying.
Yeah,
for
literally.
Anyway.
Yeah.
The roid rage. The dude just can't handle like no.
He honestly just throws temper tantrums this whole fucking movie.
He's like,
Baby
"I
boy.
fucking work hard," and he's like kicking this bench they have in there, and the thing falls off and just crushes.
Yeah, all
dude's
the
head.
weights fall on this guy and like smush his face.
Like this movie's been pretty brutal, I'd say. I wasn't expecting it to be as violent or as graphic, I guess, as it was.
They hear something's going on, and the wife comes in. She starts panicking, grabs a gun from the thing, and tries to shoot him, but he's holding the weight, deflects it, and then they grab him, pins him down to the ground. They just pull up her dress and just stick her with a horse trank, and she's fucking out, and she's like stumbling off.
Grab the cat.
And like, it looks really painful, and she's stumbling off in like her high heels, and she's
Yeah.
she goes into the washroom, and they're trying to get the number to his safe from her. They're trying to make a plan, and they're making a plan. Needs a pump. I don't remember. Oh, right, yeah. Before they leave, Mark is just like all frustrated, so he's like, "God, I need a pump." Starts like, and
The Rock just coaching him through it. Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, like mid talking to him, he's just like, "Oh yeah, there you go," and then just goes back to talking about it.
He's like, "Yeah, no, I know how you feel." He's like, "Yeah, you got the devil and the Lord spinning on your head at once."
You must feel really shitty right now because you killed someone.
Yeah, my guy at least lived.
You must feel really bad.
So they're driving to go to his safe, and eventually they'll be going to the store to grab stuff to get rid of the bodies. The Rock is still being really nice and trying to console him as they're driving there. He's like, "I'm just trying to be a friend." They get there and they find the thing. He's like, "Oh, you're the best, you're the best." And they start putting the code in, and it's wrong. So they call the guy, and they're like, "Hey, you gotta get this code from her. This isn't right." And she starts trying to move or something again. He like tranks her again. And she seems to be dead after that. And he's like, "Oh, she's cold, bro. Her soul left her body."
They K-hold her. It was horse tranquilizer, wasn't it?
It was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Which
2
is
horse
like-
strengths in 1 like hour.
Yeah, like
So they're like, okay, we're gonna do something else. So they're leaving this dude's house, and he's like, "You want that dog? You can take that dog." Instead, The Rock, what he thinks is the right move, is pulls his toe out, gives it to the dog, fucks off. And then he's like, "Not smart, taking a dead man's car. Not smart at all." It's like you just left your toe. So they take his like Lambo and whatever other vehicle they have there. Is it like a purple Lambo?
Yeah, it's a nice
Lamborghini
purple car.
Mercy.
They take both the cars and just
She's
race
so thirsty.
down the road. And I kept putting headed to the store, but they kept like heading other places before the store. In my notes, they are yelling about shit, and all Falcon can say, like, they're in like the minivan at this point, and he's just like, "What am I going to tell my wife? I lost my dog." And he's like, "There's 47 fucking holes in my carpet. Is all the blood on the carpet? They just tried to fucking cut it out. And they just totally did a shitty job anyways. It's like, you should have just cut out the whole carpet."
Yeah, exactly.
I know I said it while we were watching the movie. We're like, what's the fucking point in cutting holes out in the carpet? Just take out the whole fucking carpet at that point.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
Literally.
you're gonna come home just see patches out of the like.
Even then, there's gonna be blood on the floor too, because it'll seep through
Yeah,
the
it leaks
carpet.
through.
So
Like,
They've never thought a single thing through this whole.
buy a fucking.
I mean,
rug
imagine in
for
the
now.
moment. I mean, what they did was fucking stupid, but in the moment you aren't thinking.
Oh,
I
Mark
think just the
Wahlberg
ripping up all the
said-
cardboard probably would have been.
Yeah.
and like all this
Carpet, I
happens too within the span of like night to morning, right? So
Yeah.
you have like 8 hours to like.
Just torch the house and say it accidentally caught on fire.
It is kind of
Yeah, they probably have insurance.
Yeah.
They're already doing something insanely illegal. Like,
yeah, may as well do that.
what I do
Why not add
like.
insurance fraud to it? You already killed someone. Fuck it. Like.
Yeah.
What I do like about this movie is it's like, because it is a true story, like, you know, before I had that framework in my head, I was just like, you know, these aren't relatable characters. I don't like them that much. Like, how are they going to succeed at the end of this and me still be like, oh, I'm happy that it went that way. And like the whole fact that it is a true story and they don't have to end up well, and you can kind of just like watch the Three Stooges stumble and fail the whole time. It's kind of nice, actually.
It is.
But
I don't think
Yeah.
it's meant to be taken too seriously, you know. I think it's kind of just meant to be like, hey, look at these idiots.
so the dog that the Falcon has ran all the way back to like the racer, and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's this dog doing here?" The Rock
Isn't
doesn't
the
want
dog
to.
just like covered in blood too?
I don't
gets
know.
there?
I don't know when the dog left. He's just like, "Oh, where's my fucking dog?"
It was like right after the killings.
Yeah.
I didn't notice the dog covered in blood. But
I don't know. That's what I thought I saw. Maybe I was tripping when I was watching it. But
anyone else see that? No. Okay. Could be. At the house.
we'll never know now.
What am I
Wait.
fucking god? I don't know.
With the tiny dog, the house worker comes in and finds the toe and calls the cops. We're bouncing around a lot here, but they're finally at the store and they're grabbing all the stuff for like taking apart the bodies. We see The Rock like just taking a little bit of coke again. Wife comes home, sees the carpet. She's like, "What the fuck?" We see The Rock just like doing coke and pumping iron, and then it stops, and then it says like cocaine side effects, which is kind of like it came in at a really weird time. It's like you did that a lot at the beginning, and then just once at the end. Like from an editing, I feel like perspective, it's like you should have like either peppered a couple in or left this one out. But then again, they do the this is still a true story. But anyways.
I just love that. I feel great.
Yeah.
I feel like shit now.
For like a Michael Bay movie, it's like probably one up there for Michael Bay. So yeah, he stole the wedding ring from like her finger when they get back. He's like, "You steal her wedding ring?" Nope, didn't do that. He's like, "You fucking crackhead." They're putting on all their gear, their boots and their aprons and all this stuff, and they're going to like chop up the bodies, and they just like kind of look at each other like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, we're gonna
What
do
about
this."
the fingerprints?
Yeah, well, they're like spraying down the body, and the dude's like playing with her boobs, and
Stop playing with your tits.
he's like, "Wipe those fingerprints off." And he's like, "Well, what about their fingerprints?" He's like, "Oh, fucking damn it." He's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
well, think of
Windex
something."
your fingerprints off these people. Like you're
Yeah.
just spraying them with a Windex and wiping them down like a fucking like store window.
Yeah.
Just because it gets fingerprints off a glass doesn't mean it'll do the same to a body.
They have these chainsaws, and they're just like, they stop working. It's like, "Oh, these things are fucking made in China. Oh, we knew we should have got these gas things, not these stupid fucking electric ones." And he like goes to go. One of them goes to go do it and gets caught in her hair. And he's
Just
like, "Okay,
terrible.
well, we're gonna do it old school." They grab an axe, and he's gonna cut her hand off. He does, and the wife at this point going to take the garbage out, and she sees the carpet is all full of like the bloody carpet pieces, or the garbage is all full of bloody carpet pieces. And we see the
Double
rock.
shock! I didn't just see all the blood on the carpet in the house.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't, because it was all cut out and put in the garbage.
Yeah.
It was so well done.
Which like they put it outside in the trash can outside of their house. Like
Yeah, makes sense.
The Rock is given these hands, and he's like, "You need to grill these fingerprints off." The police
then the
show.
Rock cooks some good finger food.
You literally just see like some Master Chef fucking like barbecue scene.
He's grill master there. He's grill
I hate
master
that.
daddy. Like
It's like,
Damn, those hands look hella good though. See
toasty.
'em? Perfect crispiness to them.
lightly,
Golden caramel
Perfect
browns.
medium rare.
lightly breaded,
God,
11
that
herbs
would
and
stink
spices.
though. Like
Yeah.
that barbecue, like that
Ugh.
smell would like reek
Yeah.
the neighborhood of
Yeah,
like
no,
burning
why did he-
flesh.
Well,
Open it
that's
up.
why he was pissed
Yeah.
when he was outside doing it.
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, it's
Yeah.
getting smoky in there."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So the police show up at the detective's house, and they're like, "Look, we're a big department. We can't get everything right." He's like, "I didn't ask you to get everything right. I asked you to get one thing. Now those guys are probably dead, and it's your fault." So they go and try and return this chainsaw, and she's like, "There's fur in this." And they're like, "That ain't no fur. I don't see no fur." You see a drop of blood go off and like go onto her uniform, and we see the Rock at this point. We're jumping around a lot, but he's just outside grilling those hands. Yeah, like we said, and yeah, it says still a true story. They go and get like a gas chainsaw. They like return it, and we see like these cops get called somewhere while they're there, and they go off. They go back and they're chopping up these bodies, and they put them in these buckets, and they throw them into the lake. But I think at this point the Rock has already panicked and run, so he's not there with them.
Very important part that gets called back to later. They when they're like dismembering the bodies, like, "Oh, the breast implants.
Yeah.
Those go for real good on the resale market. We should keep those."
We should cut them out and sell them.
I know they mention the boobs like 4 times, and you're like, "We get it," and you're like, "Oh, it mattered."
Yeah.
At the
Are you trying to say breast implants don't matter?
No,
Joel?
that's not
Is
what
that
I'm
what I'm
saying
getting
at
from
all.
this? Here at No Thumbs Up, we think all breast implants
our
matter.
thumbs up breast implant.
But we're no thumbs up.
No thumbs up for breast implants.
Thumbs down.
For no
down
thumbs up,
breast
we end up
implants.
giving a lot of thumbs up here.
Yeah,
Just saying.
honestly.
So we see the police are planning their attack, and they say, "We got some making up to do, boys." And this is kind of the calm before the storm. So they say, "You got to push that Lambo into the swamp too, bro." And we don't see it happen. I'm guessing that was like a thing where Lambo was like, "We don't really want to see you like
Yeah.
into the swamp." But who knows? The police come to the wife's house, to their house now because they bought a house at some point, and we see the beginning of the movie scene where Mark Wahlberg's doing his sit-ups, The Rock is in the church praying, and then Adrian is taking a shower at his house. That's the first time I've said Adrian, but that's Falcon. Then they're all getting broken into by the cops. The police, Popo, they're getting swatted, and yeah, we see Mark where he gets hit by that car, but he just like fucking tucks and rolls, keeps going. He's doing some parkour still, and Mark makes it to the house and takes Kershaw's boat and just keeps going.
Yeah.
And we see Kershaw's there with the detective for a second, and he's like, "What if I told you there was a stash offshore?" And he's like, "Well, fuck, of course that's where he's going. Why didn't you tell us this till now?" He's like, "Of course I have an offshore account." "You don't have an offshore account?" It's like, why didn't you take your money out of that? I guess that you have to
why
go
wouldn't
there.
that? Yeah, why were you
true.
complaining that you didn't have any money? Why didn't you go to your offshore account and get the hell out of there? Then you wouldn't have to worry about that.
He does say he doesn't have enough money.
Was
to
it
leave
because he didn't
town.
want to complain in front of the cops that he had an offshore account? But
Oh, because it's tax fraud technically. Definitely an
Yeah.
offshore account,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I think he actually has to go there to get the money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but anyways, so not that he would even have like probably an account to send the money to. I don't know if they took his accounts or whatever. So yeah, that's where he's headed. And he's like, you're a very difficult victim, he says. At the bank, we see Mark is like takes his money and he's
yeah, he goes and just like peeps out his safety deposit box.
yeah, and it's just got like all this shit that he doesn't need in there. He's like, "Ah, fuck this," but he takes it all anyways.
Which is what I hate. Like, it literally just doesn't matter at all to him, but he just fucking takes it.
Yeah,
'Cause-
Because he's greedy.
yeah.
yeah. Same thing with the Lambo. He didn't push it in because he's fucking greedy. He just didn't want to give it up.
He the police like find him there, but the gate is like kind of shut, so he gets like a 10-second head start. He's like running, jumps off this thing. He's trying to act all casual, running away, but the detective sees him, shoots him in the back of the leg. He keeps running, goes to this market, whips off his clothes, steals a hat. He's trying to change what he looks like, but Kershaw's already seen him, so he's like kind of driving this car through all these people and all this shit. Bam, hits him, and this is my thumbs down moment.
Same
It's
here.
slow.
Same
This is when the
here.
call.
Yeah, it slows down and zooms in and says, son of a bitch, sometimes God just fucks up your order and you gotta chow down on your shitty shame sandwich.
I hate it.
What I think happened is that was a line that should have happened the first time we saw him. And they put it here instead for some reason. Which, by the way, why do we have two separate slow-mo getting hit by cars?
Yeah, with
things?
like a weird like line over top of it.
Well, I think
like
it's just to
some
show
weird,
that like it began. Oh, I guess the movie began there. That's the thing. It didn't begin
That's-
there and end there. The
maybe
movie
they just
began
thought
there.
both
I think I
lines
have
were
this-
so
doesn't even
good,
end.
so they had to
No.
put both of them in.
This
No,
isn't
no,
the
no.
scene where he
Bay.
gets hit in the beginning.
Yeah, this
No.
isn't the scene where he gets hit in the
Yeah.
This is a
No, I
completely
know.
different one.
Can
Anyways,
just sum it all up to Michael Bay.
yeah.
He was like, "Man, I really like both of these. We can just put it again later." Like,
Yeah. They take him away on a helicopter, and when they land, he's like, "Oh, is this all for me?" And he's like, "Yep, your own little party." And he's like, "Oh, nice."
Wait, can we go back
Hell
for
yeah.
like 2
He's so
seconds?
pleased with
Because like
himself.
when the guy hits him with the car, he literally crashes him into like a building, and then
Yeah.
Mark's just like in the building, like in the front end of the car, and I'm like, how is he alive? Like, wouldn't that have like cut him in half? Like,
Because he believes
Yeah,
in
like-
fitness, and he's a doer.
I was gonna
oh
say,
yeah, he
much
just
muscle,
flexed his
bro. He
abs and
can't
pushed the
die.
car away.
If you believe in fitness, no one can touch you.
Yeah.
Loving
It's a
the
Moral of the
mindset.
story?
It's a mindset.
I love in the helicopter too. He's like, I could have got you ripped, man. You know what your problem is? Weak quads.
See
Skinny
my
ass
quads? I've been
quad.
working on these.
All you gotta do, you gotta squat. I would have got you ripped, bro.
We're in like the
And
courts.
drink your titty milk.
Yeah.
Important.
Get you
Get
swole.
the titty milk.
The court is like the stripper, I can't remember her name, she's testifying. She's like, I was an operative and blah blah blah, and she's like, but now I'm gonna go and be a movie star.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is my thumbs up moment. The wife testifying. She's like, I think he's lifting weights to compensate for his tiny penis. It's all bent up at like a 25 degree or something.
Shaped like a boomerang.
And she's like, and you know, there's nothing wrong with having a penis that's smaller that doesn't work. But I know for a fact that he tried to finger bang his paralegal, which is a bit shamey. Yeah, that's right. Talking to you, you fucking bitch. Just like so, the paralegal. They are saying that they couldn't find a whole lot of evidence, like once they found the bodies, but they couldn't identify them because they're all fucked up. But for the first
tits.
time, the implants had they're like registered to her.
Saved by the boobs.
Yeah, so they knew who they were.
They just have like a literal barcode on them.
Yeah.
You can just scan it.
Oh yeah,
with
didn't they find
RF
his
gun.
toe too? They found the Rock's toe or whatever.
Yeah, they showed when the cops went to the house, the toe was on the
Okay.
ground.
Yeah, so that's how they connected them to the murder, right? So then that's like full circle.
So the Rock pretty much just squeals, and he gets 15 years in prison and is truly grateful for this sentence because, he
goes clean again.
Yeah.
Beautiful voice in that choir, by the way.
The Rock's got pipes. Both sets of pipes.
They say it took 15 minutes for the jury to sentence these two to death, which is like, damn.
Yeah, literally, I was like watching it, and I remember there's like, yeah, you're sentenced to death. I'm like, wait, what? Actually, holy shit! Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the end, too, is sentenced to death and 30 days for being an asshole to a guard.
Yeah. We see the detective and his wife are just at the pier, kind of chilling out. Sun setting on a grateful planet, to quote Thanos. Daniel just he kind of has this. He has this monologue about Daniel. He's like, he just wanted the American dream, and like, he was like taught that he could have these things, and that and then he couldn't have them. And they're kind of trying to throw a little bit of sympathy his way.
I didn't get what I wanted. No.
And then Daniel's saying he's like,
well, we got addicted to coke.
he's like, I didn't want much, but not the less I was used to for a while. It was like I always thought, he says, for a while, like when I did have all this stuff, it was like I always thought it would be. For once I saw myself as what I felt like I deserved. And but he's like, but then I didn't want to be equal to anymore. I wanted to be better than. And he's basically saying, like, if I get another shot, I'm going to fucking go for it. And then, bam, a fucking course, Michael Bay. Okay, so let's go right into our ceremony of thumbs.
Pain, suffering.
At this point, we will either be giving you, the audience, a thumbs up if we recommend that you should watch this movie at least once, or thumbs down that you can give this one a skip. I'll give us a count of 5, 4, 3.
Fuck Michael Bay.
Okay, so that means that there's 4 thumbs up and 2 thumbs down. I'm going to say, I'll throw it to Dayne first. Why is your thumbs down?
It was a fun movie and everything, but like, I don't think it's a must-watch or anything. It was something to watch, but I don't know. There's a lot of dumbassery.
I'm sure like the first half of this movie is pretty hard for a lot of people, but it goes somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, testosterone.
And the first half of the movie is they can kind of throw a lot of that shit in because you're not supposed to really be sympathetic for these characters at the end.
Yeah.
Which I think, Joe?
Yeah, about the same reason. It was a fun movie. There's enjoyable bits. I had a lot of humor, but I don't know. I could go without it. Could have gone without it.
I just really like the structure of the movie and how they can play around.
You were just complaining about the structure. Okay, anyway.
No.
Joe and I
but,
No, the structuring of the episode, like recording.
Yeah. anyways, yeah. So that was our review for Pain and Gain. But before
movie.
we're all done here, we will be spinning the wheel to find out which movie we're reviewing for next week. I'll do just a quick recap. We have Kingsman.
Wow.
That is we need a better name for the wheel.
Yeah, what are we gonna call it?
I don't know.
The
Wheel of
Misfortune.
movie fun times with friends. Yay.
Misfortune movie wheel. I don't know. Kingsman is my movie. Pixels is
Joe's.
Joe's movie. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs is Josh's. Jack and Jill is Dayne's. A Fistful of Dollars is Noah's. And Color Out of Space is Marcel's. So I'm going to give this a big ol' spin, and we'll see what we're watching next week.
little spinnery.
Hey, is it Pixels? Oh, fuck
We're
yeah,
watching
let's
Pixels,
go.
baby.
Some good. Oh, it's been a while since we've had some good old fashioned trash on this.
I am
No,
definitely not going to be watching that sober.
Real though, for Pain and Gain, I definitely would have recommended it as like a dumb action movie, like
If
Joel
you're looking
being.
for something just it's really funny if you're like
Yeah, it's like
want
top of the
something-
genre for this like bro, just like
Yeah.
I was laughing. I was like cracking
Yeah.
up.
I thought it was really
What's
funny. Yeah.
happening. Yeah.
And Joel kind of just took in the negative reviews, told him what he thought about it, and then the rest of us were just like,
I had, a
"Eh,
decent amount of stuff to say.
yeah, Joel, what about the rest of us?
Yeah, but once you liked it.
Oh yeah, so, I don't know. I thought we were kind of a bit boasting about it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Check it out if you're looking for The Rock.
Yeah,
to
if
be
you want
like
like
the
a fun
big bitch.
movie, fun comedy, it's definitely up there.
Definitely.
All right, well, that has been episode 14 of the No Thumbs Up podcast. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
No Thumbs